Hello people, and welcome back to another Cities Skylines tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how we can build a large, very busy downtown transport hub. Previously our transport hub tutorial was quite focused on kind of a smaller, kind of more compact version of this, but this one's going to be able to handle thousands of people a week and not cause you any traffic issues whatsoever. So let's go ahead and dive in. So you're going to need to be playing with the milestone up until, I can find the one here, I think it's small city. Yeah, so you want to be up to small city if you're playing on kind of the survival, waiting for the milestones to unlock. Because we're going to be playing with the monorail station with road and multi-platform end stations today as well. In terms of actual public transport that's going to be running through this thing. So let's start with the road layout. You're going to need a fairly big space for this, so I'm going to give you the cost in road measurements now, and then you guys can kind of go ahead and replicate this in your downtown area. So let's go ahead and start out with a 4-lane road with decorative trees, and you're going to find a nice snap node or wherever you want to place this within your city. And then you're going to come out by 2,000 cost, so you know that's $2,000 or simoleons, whatever you want to call this game currency, and that's going to be the first thing we're going to build. We're then going to switch to a 6-lane with decorative trees, and from this first snap point we're going to come up by 4,600, and there we go, boom. So that's kind of the left hand edge of your transport hub. In my city, you know, the road kind of comes off in this direction and that direction, but you know, that's separate from the hub. And I'll show you what my transport hub looks like after we've finished this as well. Then we're going to come into our public transport options, and we're going to go ahead and jump into monorail. And then we're going to grab the monorail station with road. And this thing's going to snap straight on to the end of this road that we had here. So just onto the end of that 2,000 road with trees. And then we're going to come back into medium roads, and then you're going to grab your monorail tracks with 4-lane road, and then we're going to bring this guy out by 1760 up to there, and then you can bring this down here and factor in a monorail system in that direction, and then from this point we're going to come out by another 880, which is to that point there, and then up again from that point by 2,530. And then you can bring that out and then head off in another direction over there. And then we're going to switch to the 4-lane with decorative grass. And then from this snap point, we're going to come out by 840, which is just to there. So right now, you should have something else like, we've got a big 6-lane road here. This road can be really whatever you want. I just like it with the decorative trees. And then monorail, that's going to flow around here. So nice and easy so far, nothing overly complicated. Let's go ahead and kind of work on the middle. So I use the 2-lane with grass. You can really use any of the small roads here. You can go for cycle lanes, one with trees. As long as it's 2-way for right now anyway, it doesn't really matter what that road is. So we're going to come out from this point here, and then we're going to come out by 950. Right up to there, and then we're going to click on that point again and drag to the point where we find 450, which is right here, and we let go and then drag out from this point and then just bring it down there for right now. We'll work with that road again later on. Okay, then we're going to come all the way down here by 1250, which is up to there, and then across by 900. So you're going to have a shape that looks something pretty similar like that right now. Then we're going to come down by 250. And then we're going to come up. And then across like that. So just a nice little box. And nothing overly complicated right now. And then here again, we're going to come out by 1250. And we're going to snap straight onto this node point here. So we know that we're level. And now we need to place our train station. So come ahead into your public transport buildings and grab the multi-platform end station, and this thing is going to fit perfectly right in between your roads that you just built. So again, it's nice and snug, everyone is symmetrical and happy. And then before you kind of build anything else around it, just make sure that you plan space for your tracks to actually come out. Head off in different directions. Again, when we finish this, I'll jump into my city, and then you can see how I kind of plan these out in the various directions that they travel off. Just make sure you don't build anything immediately behind your train station, because obviously you need your tracks to come out in a direction. Okay, so let's go back to this one. So from this point here, the left node right next to the train station, we're going to draw up until we hit 350, which is there. Should be somewhere near. There we go. So right here. And then we're going to come out by 500. And then draw down to this one again. So you're going to have, so you've got 5 tiles in between this block. And then we're going to come down here onto this snap point. And then come in like that. And then we're going to mirror this section on the other side. So again, remember this was out by 500. So let's do that. And that's, see, this roads here are all perfectly symmetrical on the left and right side of the station. So you've got something that should be looking pretty close to that. We're going to bring this road in and snap him in perfectly. So that's coming straight down there now, and that's going to fill out that area nicely. And then up here, we're going to switch back into our public transport buildings and pop in a bus station. And this thing is going to sit nicely right up alongside the side of our train station. And it's nice and simple. Everything's just slotting in perfectly to what we built. And then again, we want to make sure that this road is coming out. And just bring it round so you have a little bit of a gap between your between your bus station and the top road that cuts around it. And that's nice and simple for what we need right now. Now we're going to switch to some one-way roads. So again, does it really matter which one? Obviously not the tram line. 2-lane with grass, decorative with decorative grass, or just the regular. It really is up to you. I'll just use the regular. And then right here, I'm going to have a one-way road that leaves the transport hub. This is where buses will leave and head across your city. And then over here, what we're going to do with this space right here is make a bus stagger point. So as far as I'm aware, this might not be correct, Imperial Jedi was the first kind of person to kind of implement this and come up with this idea. And what this is going to do is we're just going to draw a bunch of one-way roads off of this road here. So let's say for right here. And we'll go for a 68-degree angle. And the gap there was 200. Let's draw it off there again. And then just draw in a couple of these roads. You might want to space them a little bit further apart if you like. It really just kind of depends on the kind of aesthetic look that you're going for. And what you want to do is, as you begin to draw in your bus lines, so let's give an example here. I'm going to come ahead and drop in just a bus depot right here. And then I'm going to start my line here, and then rather than just bringing the buses straight into the bus station, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a new line through here, get him to stop there first, and then head into the bus station. And then let's just complete him for right now. And then let's say that there was another line started elsewhere in the city, and then he's going to come and stop on this road, and then head into the bus station, and then he's going to come and complete again. So you can kind of see, you just use these roads to stagger your buses. It isn't essential, but it looks pretty nice, and it's just going to keep everyone flowing a little smoother. It's kind of hard to explain right now, but you'll see how it works in my city in a moment when we go ahead and dive in. Okay, so let's jump back into our public transport buildings and go to Metro, and we're going to grab a couple of Metro stations right here. So we're going to place these in the middle of these 2 blocks that we placed up. So you can see them here. These 2 blocks that we placed, they're going to go right in the middle. And then again, don't forget your train station also has one. But what this is going to do is allow you to kind of make a lot of different lines that go off in different directions. You know, this one can head off in that one. You can connect them up if you like. This one can come out and then head off in there, and you know, you've got a lot of different possibilities. Just make sure that all these stations are kind of heading off in very obvious directions, so you're kind of covering as much area as possible. And then people can actually meet up at your transport hub to kind of switch lines and jump on different methods of transport is kind of the real aim you're going for here. And then in terms of kind of the empty space that you have left around here, there's different things you can do. You can maybe grab, like, you know, a couple of plazas with trees and line this side with plazas, and maybe this side as well. What I did in my city, which again we will cover in a moment, I implemented kind of a raised up walkway that spans the network of the transport hub, and I'll go ahead and show you that as well. But you can kind of do multiple different things again, so that's kind of it. That's really the base design, and you just kind of take that and, you know, bring all your public transport lines into one place. So let's dive back into Burgusia right now, and we'll take a look at how this thing works in a real functioning city, and just how much foot traffic this thing actually attracts. Okay guys, so this is Burgusia's transport hub, and you can see it is the exact same layout as we have just built in the tutorial city, although this one is slightly more decorated. Let's pop off our UI and take a little look around. So starting off centrally, we have our main train station, and we can see that road pattern coming through again. And we also have the monorail station down here as well that heads off in multiple different directions around the city. You can kind of see where it takes off up and around here, and then down here as well, and heads off into our residential. We've also got this kind of elevated pedestrian footpath that we spoke about, and look how busy this thing is. The point of this is to keep your pedestrians from using the zebra crossings or crosswalks, whatever you call them in your part of the world. It keeps them pretty free and stops them from blogging up all the traffic. Over on the other side as well, we've also gone ahead and decorated our metro stations just by placing some bushes around them and a couple of different kind of trees as well. There's also a little pavilion in here as well. If you're not playing with the More Beautification mod or you're on console, you can decorate these squares using the park life stuff, like we have over here. This is just using all park life assets, and, you know, kind of making like a little food court, a little kind of mini garden where Sims can come and relax, although they won't ever use it. We also have another public footpath crossing over our rails, and this comes down into a bit of a tram circle, which also factors into this as well. You know, this isn't really part of the transport interchange, it's just where trams can pick people up, and it's just a simple tram square with a couple of small circles in between, and, you know, you can kind of see trams coming and going in various directions as they come in. It's a neat little thing. It looks nice as well to see them heading off in various directions, and just the amount of people that are coming across. So they're leaving the trams, they're heading across the bridges, and they're jumping on the metro, on the monorail, on the trains, on the buses. So it's a really kind of cool, nifty transport hub. Let's have a look at some numbers. 585 on this metro station, 445 on the train station, 85 on the bus, 88 on this metro, and 332 on this one. Obviously, as time passes, I've seen these metro stations break 1,000 people every week, and you can just kind of see how busy this place actually is. We've also factored in these elevated walkways away from the transport hub, and again, that's going to keep the rest of the city's roads clear of people. You know, you can imagine how busy all these roads would become with so many people trying to cross the roads, or even using cars to get out of the transport hub and head into the residential blocks over here. Then, you know, that would become pretty busy pretty quickly. So yeah, let's set up a little kind of outro tag, and you guys can get a good look at this, and we'll see you in a minute. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, a like below is very much appreciated. Equally as much, if you didn't find it useful or helpful, please feel free to leave a dislike as well. This city is called Burgusia, and is currently an ongoing series called the Cities Skylines Build Guide, a tutorial and inspirational let's play, of which you can find the episodes and playlist linked down in the description below. if you want to come ahead and follow this city, maybe you guys can learn a thing or two from it as well. And also feel free to get involved with the series and suggest things for the city as well. This transport hub works really efficiently. It's definitely one of the better builds in this city, certainly one I enjoy building. Stick around for the rest of the outro tags and you can kind of see how this fits within the wider kind of downtown sphere, if that makes sense. Let me know if you guys use it and if you have any success with it, and also if you can think of any improvements for it. Do let me know down in the comments as well. Otherwise, I'll leave you alone. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.
Let me try.